Namaskar. Friends, in this discourse number 83, the speaker will show the difference between modern yoga and Vedic yoga. The yoga that is in practice in the world is modern yoga. It focuses more on health, on the body. And therefore, this modern yoga is called fitness yoga. People have become more conscious of their health. They want to look smart, and elegant. Therefore, the focus is more on this fitness of the body. And asanas have been developed. Actually, asana does not belong to the yogic tradition. There is no mention of asana in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. There is only one sutra that tells us what asana is. And Patanjali defines asana as Sthiram Sukham Asanam. That asana must fulfill two primary conditions. One is Sthiram, another one is Sukham. Sthiram means stable, stability in the posture. Actually, asana means posture. Whatever the posture may be, sitting, standing, walking, all these are postures. Sitting alone does not constitute asana. Standing also is asana. Walking also is asana. Doing physical action also is asana. Cooking also is asana. What is required in asana is a total involvement of body and mind. The speaker is giving a different kind of meaning of this word asana. Many of us have learned asana as nothing but doing several postures. Unfortunately, that has become strongly rooted in our consciousness. But asana, as defined by Patanjali, involves stiram. In whatever you do, if your body and mind are stable, which means when you involve your body and mind completely in what you are doing, your body and mind are completely stabilized in what you are doing, in that action, then becomes asana. Then the second requirement of asana, according to Patanjali, is sukham, means comfortable. If you are comfortable in what you are doing, in your sitting, in your standing, in your walking, in your running, in your doing various things in your life, if you do not undergo any pain, any discomfort, then it becomes asana. So what we understand from this sutra is that asana means, or it should fulfill, two essential conditions, namely stiram and sukha. When your body is stable and when you feel comfortable in that particular posture, in that particular position, then your mind can be stilled, thoughts can be stilled. This is the link between body and mind, and that is how Patanjali has defined. And he hasn't discussed all the postures that are performed in many yoga schools. Even the Hatha Yoga texts that came in the 17th and 18th centuries, namely Hatha Yoga Pratipika, Shiva Samhita, Garanda Samhita, have not discussed all the asanas, all the postures that are performed by the so-called yoga masters and the students. These texts have focused more on sitting postures, Padmasana, Siddhasana, Vajrasana. But unfortunately, the martial arts of the Far East Asian countries have crept into this science and developed them into various postures. And this has been done by the West. In America, the Americans have become more conscious of their health. Because they are not aware of the classical yoga of this land, which was given by the great rishis. When yoga was introduced by Swami Vivekananda in America, it was Raja Yoga. It was a yoga of meditation and not Hatha Yoga, not physical yoga. But many Americans fail to receive this because they don't know what meditation is. They know prayer. They are not aware of meditation. They don't know what exactly it is. But they are more comfortable with prayer. So in their spiritual life, prayer is the ultimate end. They could not go beyond prayer. Therefore, the Raja Yoga, when it was introduced in America, was not properly received. They became more conscious of their health. Many of them suffered from various chronic diseases, and they wanted some kind of a cure, some kind of therapy. They tried with all other therapeutic forms, and finally they came to this, and they introduced all these martial arts into this and developed a new kind of yoga, modern yoga. And this modern yoga is in practice throughout the world. Even the word health that they use is not comprehensive. It cannot be used in a narrow sense. The word health is a holistic term. It involves not only the body, the health of the body, but the health of the mind. But Vedic Yoga is Sanatana Dharma. Our Sanatana Dharma is Vedic Dharma. And that Vedic Dharma is Yoga Dharma. And this Yoga Dharma is nothing but a pursuit of truth. And the highest dharmic duty, or the highest dharma, Vedic Dharma, is the pursuit of truth. And this yoga was classical, ancient. Raja Yoga, king of yogas. It was called Rishi Yoga because this was practiced by rishis. And these rishis were not merely human sages, but they are the spiritual powers of the cosmic mind. And what did they do? They focused on mind, on thought, on thinking. They focused on the subject, the inquirer. Who is this inquirer? And this had led to deep contemplation and finally to meditation, that is dhyana. So Vedic Yoga is highly meditative. It is nothing to do with the asanas. It is nothing to do with the pranayama and all those kriyas that are in practice. And this is our spiritual tradition. Yoga Dharma, the highest Dharma. The highest Dharma is yoga, and this yoga is nothing but pursuing the truth, attaining self-realization, knowing one's own self and transcending it. This inner desire to understand the nature of this being had led rishis of those days to the forest. So in the forest, because forest is nothing but nature, and far away located from the human life and activities, they wanted to have an undisturbed pursuit of truth. They wanted to have an undisturbed meditation. So forest was the best place, free from all those external disturbances, providing all that serene atmosphere. So these sages chose forest, and in the forest they contemplated and meditated long years. And this was called yoga. This was our Vedic Dharma. This was our Vedic Yoga. And they pursued the truth, meditated long years, went deeper and deeper, and entered into a state of samadhi where they had those profound revelations. Those revelations are nothing but wisdom, pure knowledge. They touched and experienced that state of pure consciousness. They remained in that state for long, experiencing the bliss. These were the real yogis. These were the jnanis. Because a jnani is an enlightened soul. A jnani is one who has realized that highest state of knowledge, that highest state of consciousness. And that is why the yoga of that Sanatana Dharma was called Rishi Yoga, Vedic Yoga. It was called Rishi Yoga because it was practiced by rishis. And what was the means? The means was meditation, dhyana. That was the only tool. And this was the ultimate object of yoga, the ultimate object of dhyana, to attain self-realization. And that was our tradition, that was our culture, that was our inner culture. That was our rich spiritual tradition. And that was called Vedic Yoga. Unfortunately, that yoga is missing now. Nobody teaches that, nobody practices that. Amidst these various forms of modern yoga, there are scores of schools of yoga, Hatha Yoga, focusing more on the health on the body. And these schools have missed that tradition. We need to regain that tradition, that Vedic tradition, that Vedic yoga, that Rishi tradition. And that is real yoga. We need to preserve that yoga. We need to practice that yoga. Namaskar.